Let's talk about string in Python. Let's see some demo in Jupyter Notebook. In the previous lecture, we talked about string, just simple plain text. To include the string in Python, we can use single quote or double quote. So for example, here we can have a flavor as a string. So they will just display the flavor string. But if we don't have single quote, flavor, if we try to run that, you will see that's an error, because if you don't have single quote, flavor becomes a variable before a name. So the name flavor is not defined. Okay, so of course in the string you can have one word or multiple words. You can have the number. But the most important thing, be careful, do not put any apostrophe in the string. See, for here, you see we have the single quote inside our string. So what will happen? You will have an error. For what? Because from here you can see we also have the color to show you. Single quote, here is the end of the single quote. So that's why they finish this string. So then they kind of doesn't know what to do with the other single quote. So that's why they cannot determine the string literal for this one. So if you really need to have apostrophe, what should you do? That's what we said earlier. You can use a single quote or double quote for the Python string. So if you really need to use your single quote inside your string, let's do the double quote to include your string. So that's why they will display the whole thing. On the other hand, if you really have the double quote with your string, be careful. You see here, they will have error as well, because supposedly here they finish the string. Then you have the quote, the quoted. They will think about that's maybe a name or something. So that's it told you it's invalid syntax. So on the other hand, what we can do is we can change to the single quote. So once we change to the single quote to include all our string with the double quote, they will be fine. So can you assign a string to a name? Yes, you can. So for example here, we can assign hello string to a name, say hi. So after you assign, then you try to display, they will display hello. And also you can concatenate two strings. So then you have hello, so then hi, hello student. So then we can have the two strings concatenate together. But of course, if this one you say, oh, I'm missing a space, that's okay. Not only you can concatenate two strings, you can concatenate more than two strings using the plus sign. So they just concatenate all the strings become one string. You can use the plain string to concatenate with the plus sign. But also, if you already have your string assigned to a name, we also can concatenate them together. So since we have the hi is the hello string, what else we can do with that? So one thing is we want to know string can do the calculation, arithmetic operation or not. It sounds ridiculous, but Python actually they do allow you to do that. So if you do the ha, then you do 10 times for your string. Then you have 10 ha. The only thing is, because string times string times 10, they make 10 the same string. But since the string try to multiply by string, I don't think we have this math happen, right? So that's why you cannot multiply. For the old example here, we show you mostly is the plain string. You use the single quote or double quote. But also here, we will show you 3 different functions. Because you can see here, when you have the parentheses, then you know that the string is the function name. We have str, we have the int, we have float. They can be function. What does that mean? So actually, they're the same thing. They just create a string by the value you pass here. So then you have the string actually contain 3. and then you see they display because they use a single quote, you know they are the string. So since you can create a string by calling the function str, then passing the value in the parentheses. Once they become string, yeah, you also can do the concatenation with the plus sign. So then here you will see, right, my kids is 5. Okay. So yeah, then here is you just concatenate. Actually here, you passing anything, they just make them become string. So that's the str function. But we also have the integer, the int function, and float function. So the int function actually the same thing. What you passing by in the parentheses, they will convert become the integer. But you need to make sure the format is correct. So that's why here, even I passing a string quote with the 23, I use a single quote to do that. So when you're passing through the function, yeah, they are become the integer 23. Then can I add 1 to that? Yeah, we're wrong. Yeah, they can. Because one thing is, even you are string, but because you passing through the int function, they become number 23 integer. So integer can add another integer. So then the total is 24. So the same thing, the float function, you passing a string. As long as the format is correct, they can convert them as the float value. But here, the same thing you want to convert to the float. But you see here, because you have 2 decimal points, that's invalid format. So they cannot convert the string to the float. Okay, so that's why here our float, this one is okay. Yeah, then we can convert to the integer, right? Like earlier we say float, this one because we have 2 decimal points, definitely the format is incorrect. How about I passing in the string, but this one have the decimal point. Yeah, we just need to run to see if they are okay. Yeah, unfortunately, no, they don't allow that. Okay, they only allowed you have your string passing exact correct format. Okay, but one thing is here you have your 23.45, so then you need to convert to the float. If you are within the string, the single quote, inside the single quote, they need to be specific correct format. But here, if I only have the decimal float value to convert to the int, actually they are okay, but they just ignored the fraction part. So that's you need to see the difference. Yeah, like the float, you can convert to the int. Okay, so then the int number you can convert to the float as well. So the float number you convert to the int, they kind of remove your fraction part. But if you have your int to convert to the float, yeah, they just add the decimal with a 0. Yeah, so back to see our summary. Okay, earlier we showed you the demonstration. You can see a string value can be text with any length. It can be 1 letter, 1 word, or multiple words. You can be within single quote or double quote, especially if you have single quote inside. It's better to use a double quote. So when you convert on your string, if your string has the numbers, you can convert to the number as well, but be sure your your format type is correct. So this one is 12 without decimal points. Yeah, we can convert to the int. But with decimal point, please convert to the float. So any value actually you can convert to a string. Okay, even you are integer. Yeah, that's earlier we say your string you can pass into the int or float function, but make sure the format is correct. So something like that, you passing a text to convert to the float. Yeah, you will have error. Okay, so then, yeah, that's the example we show you. Okay, so between the float and integer, basically they really can convert to each other without any problem. But if you have a float number to convert to the integer, you just need to know you will lose your fraction part. Okay, so that's the some example here. I want you to think about this question and pause the video so then we can see the answer why they are all wrong. So actually we have 3 nan. We assign x is 3. So now you know that's integer. So we assign a string to y, so that's a string type. Z is a string type as well. So actually all these 4 expressions A, B, C, D, they are all wrong. But I want you to tell me why they are wrong. Okay, before you continue to see the video, pause that and see if you can answer all of that. Okay, let's see one by one why they are wrong. Okay, x plus y, because here x is int data type, y is string. That's the 2 different types you cannot add together. So then you have x, add int. Okay, x is int, that's correct. So if plus with int, yeah, they look like correct, right? But one thing is, when we passing, you see here, y plus z. Yeah, y can plus z as well. That's totally fine because they are both string. But when you have y plus z, they become 45.6. And they still return string. So that's why here is the string 45.6. Like earlier we said, when you call the int function, you pass in a string. They have to be the format exactly correct. So now you have string is 45.6. Then you will have error because they have the decimal point. Okay, so continue. Then, yeah, this one actually you don't need to try already know because string plus int, they are 2 different data types. You cannot really concatenate together. Or even, yeah, we can convert x become a string. So then y, the same thing. Yeah, y is a string. You cannot add the floating data type. That's the error what they came from. But, you know, a lot of time, always check with your IDE. So you can really just assign those values on your Jupyter notebook. Then you try each statement. So then you see what error you will get. Okay, so that's about string.